Hey guys, welcome to the Tobacconist Field Guide, and today is our first tandem episode with the both of us, so get ready for a fun one. We're going to be talking about pipe shapes today, and we're not going to be talking about all pipe shapes. We don't have that kind of time around here.
We could not cover all of the pipe shapes in one episode. There's too many of them, and the nuances are incredible.
The Canadian family itself would take an hour.
Well, and the Prince, Apple, Ball, Brandy, author,
egg, name it all. But we'll be talking about some of our favorites and some more popular shapes, whether they're our favorites or not. We'll talk about some of the practicality of these different shapes, and then we'll talk about the aesthetics. So let's jump right into it. Joe, why don't you start with whichever one you want?
I'm going to start with the Dublin. It's one of my favorite shapes. I like the Dublin because it has a conical bowl. The conical bowl is very nice if you like to smoke flakes. And I like to smoke University Flake and Burley Flake and flakes.
Yeah, all that's real great, Joe. All that's real great. I'm glad you got the practicality down there. But let's talk about the aesthetics of it. The Dublin is a nice swooping bowl that flares out at the top, which really sits well with pipes that have great straight grain. All of those things look great on it. Not only that, but they tend to be much thicker walled towards the top, which helps it out. Not only that, but it's a very classic shape. And let's see here. What are the nuances of that?
When you get into those thicker walls at the top, right, with that initial light where you're holding the flame on the leaf for a little bit longer, it's going to help you not burn your fingers. That's always a pleasant thing. And lots of famous authors, writers use Dublin pipes. James Joyce was notorious for smoking a
Love yourself into James Joyce now, do you?
Hey man, I think where you can get it.
I get it. But yeah, overall speaking, the Dublin is one of the most popular shapes, and it even has a subcategory in its shaping size. When it's quarter bent, it is called a
Zulu.
Nice.
And that's the only nuance. No, it's not. I can't even complete that with a straight face. Aubrey, what you got up first?
So my first one is my favorite shape. The reason I like this particular shape, it is the Bulldog. And the Bulldog has several different variants in its shape, ranging from the Rhodesian to the Squat, and even the Bull Moose. But this is just your traditional. And one of the reasons that I like it is that, you have this nice kind of diamond shank that runs into the bowl that goes up into these two bead lines. If you don't have the bead lines, it gets kind of saggy looking. Not only that, but then you have a sharp bevel that goes up. On a Squat, this angle isn't quite as vertical and it's more horizontal, and it lines up with the top right there.
Well, that's real great. But even with the diamond shank flowing into the bottom of the pipe the way it's supposed to, it has a largely cylindrical bowl, and that cylindrical bowl is really great if you like smoking ribbon cuts. So if you're a big aromatic fan with things like Sweet Killarney or the Smooth Sailing from Ashton, a cylindrical bowl is going to suit you a lot better because the tobacco has room to expand, and it's a little bit easier not to overpack those ribbon cuts. That
is correct. As far as the nuances of the different variants of the Bulldog family, I went over how the Squat works. The Rhodesian will be very similar to this, except that it has a round shank, which to me doesn't have quite the same appeal, but, it's to each their own, right? And then Briarworks' most popular shape, which is the Bull Moose, is essentially a quarter or half bent Rhodesian with a very thick shank. And that's going to be kind of the differences there, as far as I can think of off the top of my head. And that leaves us with your next one.
My next one is another cylindrical bowl. It's the Billiard. Billiard is the most popular, best-selling pipe shape in the shop. It's a tall bowl usually, and then it creates a very distinct division between the bowl and the shank. And this helps with heat transfer. So if you're used to burning pipes a little hot, this will help keep that temperature down. Great for smoking ribbons, but the Billiard is also a little bit more narrow usually, so it's great for smoking ready rubs. So if you're into something like Virginia No. 1 or the Golden Extra from McBaron, it'll really help you pack those tobaccos a little bit easier.
Not only that, but here's my chance to jump in, because Billiards are one of my favorite shapes, as you can see, even though this is technically a Lumberman, which we will get into about the Canadian family.
Which is also a Billiard.
One of the things that makes, yes, technically, yes. One of the things that's very important for characterizing billiards is the fact that it has to have a slight taper going up into the bowl. If it's straight, it turns into a stack. If it's short and straight, it turns into a pot. And another very important thing is the shank needs to be as long as the bowl is tall, and on a straight, it needs to be slightly forward canted. I like it a little bit more forward canted than most, but it needs to have a small forward cant. And on a bent, that forward cant's not necessarily needed.
That forward cant's going to be really helpful on a straight billiard because it'll keep the flame out of your face, yet still give you a chance to see that tobacco, that it's nice and lit all the way around. That'll help keep the tobacco lit and help keep everything burning evenly all the way down the bowl.
Look at you in that practicality. You're killing it. And our last pipe shape that we're going to talk to is a very popular one. Not my favorite shape, but still very popular, is the poker. And a poker is characterized by the fact that it has a very flat bottom, and most people refer to them as sitters, even though that's the wrong phrase. I don't necessarily care if a pipe sits, because if a pipe is packed correctly, you can smoke it upside down. I didn't get much smoke there, but that's because it was going out. But one of the things that makes this slightly different about being a true poker is that this one has a bent stem. And when a poker has a bent stem, it's referred to as a cherry wood. Joe, I'm going to need some help on the practicality of the poker.
Well, again, you have the cylindrical bowl, so that'll help you pack those looser cut tobaccos. The standing also helps, keeps it a little safe because you can put it down and you can get it out of your way, and it's not going to roll over or roll off the table that way. So that helps with not breaking shanks and not having to send it off to get repaired. They're usually carved with a focus on straight up and down grain. That'll help with the heat retention as well.
Wow, yeah, they really wouldn't look good with cross grain and bird's eye, would they?
They really wouldn't. No, because with that flat bottom, you're going to hopefully get a lot of that bird's eye on the bottom of the bowl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and those are the practical advantages to having a poker. So this has been our first round of pipe shapes. I'm sure we'll do more of these. I hope one day we get to the Canadian family.
Oh, we'll get to the Canadian family.
That one's going to be real fun.
Oh, it's going to be highly entertaining.
But yeah, we really appreciate you guys coming in on our first joint tobacconist field guide. We look forward to seeing you, and go online on our website and check some more of these out.
Absolutely. We'll see you around, guys.